Good morning, everyone. Here we have the Nasdaq Composite. It is a weekly chart, weekly, with a weekly sell signal, with a weekly moving average being sold down, and the 200-day moving average is down here. Now that we have sold back down toward the bottom on the broader Nasdaq comp, you can see where the reversals are, but you can see where that knife hook bottom was the previous week right here. You can see the top down slide the bid right here in price. That's the short side here, and you're back down here at these bottoms, and you're right here. You're starting to peak in a weekly sell signal right now. 2249.33 is the 200-week moving average MMTs. Be advised that the breakdown down here, this 100-week moving average is at 2448.40. The 10-week declining moving averages is why you're selling short from the top down in the tape MMTs. On a daily compounded level, there's 5 bars per day per week that are in here. 5 days. Okay, and you can see that bottom up, but look at the size of the sell. Let's take a look at together. Right here. Let's take a look at the depth of the top down versus that previous week's bottom up price action. That's the upside volatility, but notice that the weekly lows over here, you couldn't even get up you couldn't close above these right here in this time period right here. Here you're still selling back down, and weakness starts to set up again, so that the trade management remains the same. If we keep diminishing in value or break this support line starting Monday morning, there's more downside that would get the selling going again, and then at some point we would hit a bottom and bounce. And that the August trade for the amount of days that are left, as we understand it, today is 8/20 of 2011, and it's 11:08 a.m. This is the story here, MMTs, and that bottom up week versus the distribution week, and then the weekly moving averages and the weekly sell signal is, it's going to take a lot of people wanting to step in and buy this market down here starting Monday morning. And when we break the lows each time or sell through these moving averages, is the price action from the moving average right here to the close, and how many points is that? If it's descending in value, then there's a lot of weakness in that direction. If you're closing up here on highs, well, that was a different story. But last week, Monday through Friday, net, you had more selling in the Nasdaq. Look at the body of the sell side versus the upside the previous week. If we break support level, then we'll sell down. And we'll sell down to other areas, to the 200-week moving average. Once a weekly sell signal starts, this one here is very, very deep, very, very quickly in the cycle, in these price drops like this. This is what the 4-week, 1, 2, 3, 4-week reversal has done in calendar 2011. This was the upper ranges that were traded on a weekly level. You had weekly breakouts, weekly reversals. Excuse me. The weekly declines. This is that big breaking week, and that decline right here in price. Those 2 weeks with that one upside week, that's not enough. Buying off the lower end at some point, when we get down to the 200 week, if we start to sell through there, and I'll draw a trend line for you, MMTs, that's going to be, let's say, let's just get right down in here, in this area, across here, this lower line. If you sell through it, it has not sold through it yet, but it's headed that direction. We'll see how Monday morning, the opening pre-market futures, how they are acting and what is going on around the world. So we'll look to see where the buyers and the sellers are and what that weighted price action is to the buyer and the seller again, starting calendar Monday. And these are going to be levels, MMTs, that you'll be looking at. And the problem is when you put that trend line right here and you go over here, that's really strong resistance right here from this original selling week that occurred over here. This is the biggest sell week right here. That was 7/31 down. Here's the calendar date right here, this line. And you can see how you've got an upside week to another distribution week. If we break this support level, we're going to test this weekly. We would look to see where that reversal trend would come in immediately. There are a certain amount of trading days that are left, but look at the technical damage that 2011 has caused with the weekly declining moving averages, and that they were buying the dips, they were buying the dips, they were buying the dips, but they have failed and made the lower lows that SMF had forecasted a long time ago, because that's what we're doing. So we'll be monitoring where markets are made, upside volatility versus downside volatility, and the downside volatility at some point will hit a low and there will be a reversal. There are a certain amount of trading days left in the calendar month of August, and we'll be monitoring them very carefully. And MMTs, we'll talk about this off the video, and we'll really get down to some hardcore work as we move forward with the Nasdaq comp. And let us not forget the Nasdaq 100. That's, you know, the top 100 stocks. It too has a weekly thing. It's just now coming down and testing its major moving average right here. Look at that. But still, you still have that big weekly distribution. This one here has not sold through this moving average right here. Not yet. And that's the Nasdaq 100 though. That's 100 stocks that come out of that Nasdaq comp that one just showed you. Okay. By the way, it was down 34.81 handles on Friday. And the Nasdaq comp was down 38.59 on a closing level, it looks like. Right here to that moving weekly standard moving average. There it is. That is going to be, let's put 2039.12 in there. Okay. The low was 2035 MMTs, ending the week with that weekly sell signal as well. So we'll be watching the key levels in here. We'll watch this neckline where it broke. Here's where your tops were. That's 2011. There's your major break. That's your new resistance. We'll take a look, see what happens down here. We'll take a look and see what happens right there. And where the breakout happened to that first high right here is what we're looking at. And we'll be looking at some macros in there, okay? Until we finally see what's going to happen here starting Monday morning on the Nasdaq 100. We have that major weekly moving average right here. And here's the number. High alert on the Nasdaq 100. because if it breaks lower, that means Apple's and Google's go lower, and the broader market and the higher beta goes lower if we break it. High alert.